The Second Dynasty of ancient Egypt, which likely spanned from around 2890 to 2686 BC, is one of the most shadowy and enigmatic periods in early Egyptian history. It followed directly from the foundations laid by the First Dynasty and continued the evolution of Egypt as a unified kingdom. However, unlike the First Dynasty, where clear continuity and identity prevailed, this second royal line is marked by dynastic turbulence, possible internal conflict, and a lack of archaeological clarity. The kings of the Second Dynasty ruled during the early dynastic period, a formative phase that saw many of the traditions of the pharaohs. Divine kingship, central administration, religious authority, and monumental burial begin to take root. Yet this dynasty also reflects the challenges of consolidating power across a newly unified land with competing regional identities, economic shifts, and emerging religious sects. The list of rulers in the Second Dynasty includes Hotepsekemwi, Raneb or Nebra, Ninetcha, and several poorly documented kings, Veneg, Senej, Peribsen, and Kasekemwi. The reigns of these monarchs are pieced together from sparse inscriptions, sealings, and archaeological remains, many of which are fragmented or conflicting. Hotepsekemwi, the dynasty's founder, took a name meaning the two powers are at peace, possibly symbolizing harmony between Upper and Lower Egypt, or between religious factions representing Horus and Seth. His rule seems to have been relatively stable, with indications of construction projects and continued state consolidation. His successor, Raneb, is notable for associating himself with the sun god Ra, one of the earliest kings to do so, signaling the gradual rise of solar worship that would later dominate the Old Kingdom. The inclusion of Ra in royal titulary points to an evolving religious ideology that would eventually culminate in pyramid construction and sun temples. Ninetcha, one of the longer-reigning kings of the Second Dynasty, may have faced challenges in maintaining control over the vast Egyptian territory. Some sources suggest he may have split Egypt temporarily into two halves, either for administrative reasons or as a result of political strife. This theory is supported by the ambiguous evidence of two distinct royal lines following his reign. What follows Ninetcha is a murky period where rulers like Veneg and Senej appear in fragmentary king lists, but remain largely mysterious. Of particular interest is King Peribsen, who is depicted as a follower of the god Seth, rather than the traditional Horus. This deviation from religious tradition has puzzled Egyptologists for decades. Was it a sign of theological rebellion, a regional conflict expressed through divine patronage, or simply a temporary shift in religious focus? The symbolism of Seth, a god associated with chaos, the desert, and later villainy, taking precedence over Horus, may signal internal disruption or realignment of priestly power during Peribsen's time. The dynasty's final king, Kasekemwi, appears to have reunited Egypt after a probable period of division or civil conflict. His name, meaning the two powers have appeared, is often interpreted as a declaration of restored unity between Upper and Lower Egypt, or between the Horus and Seth factions. Remarkably, he used both the Horus and Seth symbols in his royal name, a rare fusion that may reflect a political compromise or symbolic reconciliation. Archaeological evidence from Kasekemwi's reign, including impressive stone architecture and the construction of massive enclosures at Hierakonpolis and Abydos, suggests that the state was once again stable and perhaps even experiencing a resurgence in central authority. His tomb at Abydos is among the most elaborate of the early dynastic period, and his rule serves as a transitional bridge to the grandeur of the Old Kingdom that would begin with the Third Dynasty. In many ways, the Second Dynasty was a crucible. It tested the durability of Egypt's unification and forced its rulers to adapt their symbols, structures, and ideologies to meet the challenges of ruling a dual land with diverse regions and powerful religious traditions. Despite the gaps in our records, the dynasty left behind crucial signs of evolution in royal theology, statecraft, and temple building. The experimentation and struggle during this time would inform the bold confidence of the dynasties that followed, ultimately leading to the splendor of pyramid building and the apogee of the pharaonic system. The Second Dynasty may be dim in detail, but its legacy lies in its survival, innovation, and determination to maintain the sacred order amidst uncertainty.